And my next guest is a man who's worked very closely with the Prime Minister. He's been one of the country's most respected senior bureaucrats. He's been the CEO of the Niti Aayog and therefore has had a role in framing policy for the country. And he has also been the Sherpa of the G20, which means that he was in the center of the action and specifically chosen by Prime Minister Modi on one of his most important missions. Mr. Amitabh Kant, thank you very much. People know the numbers, but I'd like to start by asking you, how has it been like working with him? How has he been as your leader in all the very high-profile jobs that you've done for him? Can you share any personal anecdotes?
So, Arnab, let me start with something which really motivated the young Indians, and that is Startup India. And when we went to him, the Prime Minister took 4 different meetings, and he wanted to be sure of everything. And he said, please make sure that startups get clearances immediately. They don't have to run around inspectors. Please make sure that they don't run into labor clearances issues, etc., which other large companies do. So he wanted to make sure of everything before he launched it. So, and then, when we were launching it, he said that make only the startup entrepreneurs sit with him, nobody else, no ministers, no bureaucrats. So you had young entrepreneurs sitting with him. When we were launching Startup India, there were only 156 startups in India. Today, you have over 150,000 startups, and you have over 150 unicorns in India. And this is one program where, he got the fund of funds launched. He got the incubators launched. He got the tinkering labs started. So if you look at the perspective of this leader, he looks at 30 years ahead of time, and then he gets into the details. So you have the vision, you have getting into complex details. If he doesn't understand it, he says, explain it to me again. So he doesn't shy away from understanding complex issues. And third thing is that he is a man focused on implementation. That was my experience of Startup India. And when this government came into power in 2014, I was amongst the first few people who made the presentation on the Ministry of, then the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion. The first thing he picked up was focus on ease of doing business, get these rules, regulation, procedures cracked. And therefore, our whole intention throughout was that get those rules, regulation eliminated, and that's how India jumped up 79 positions. And that's how GST came in, that's how Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code came in, that's how 1,700 laws in this country were eliminated. This could not have been done by any other leader. The third example I would like to give is when I went to make the presentation to him on the backward districts of India. He heard it once, he heard it second time, and then he said, why are you calling them backward? Don't call them backward, call them aspiration. Inko akankshi jile bolo. Or that's how second thing he said, the problem is not with money. You bureaucrats think only in terms of allocation of funds. He said the problem is there is lack of governance in these districts. You fix them. So we picked up the 115 of the most backward districts of India, far-flung districts. We ensured that there are young collectors who stay there for a period of 3 to 5 years. We decided on what outcomes to be achieved. We picked up real-time data. We started ranking and making these districts compete. And we put out their ranking in public domain. And young collectors competed with each other. They competed with such ferocity, I can't tell you. And That is why these districts improved, and some of them actually went on to be better than the best performing districts of India. And that was entirely Prime Minister's vision. So I would say that with my experience, that one, he sets a big vision, which is ahead of time. Second thing is he picks up his team to deliver. Third thing, he motivates and inspires them to deliver, but doesn't get into day-to-day functioning. I saw this during
This point you make, that he doesn't get into day-to-day functioning.
Yeah.
Now, I've heard
So-
two sides of the story here. Many people say that he gets into details when he needs to. On the other hand, you have said that even when you were in that deadlock situation in the G20, when you were the Sherpa in G20, and we didn't know whether we are going to get a consensus. It was all in the air, and you've written in your that he did not want to get into the procedures of the process. He wanted to see the result, a consensus very soon. So, did he just let you decide the terms? Because you must be in the thick of a negotiation. Every word must be a negotiation in that situation. Are you saying the Prime Minister let you handle it pretty much on your own?
Absolutely. And I want to reiterate that, and I want to speak with full emphasis that here is a leader. If he believes you, if he trusts you, he lays down what he wants to achieve, and then he wants you to deliver. He gives you the full freedom and flexibility. During G20 negotiations, he totally left me to negotiate. He gave me the freedom to negotiate with full absolutely his full confidence. I was G20 Sherpa to the Prime Minister of India, and I negotiated with the full confidence that I am going to achieve success. Those were very complex days. Those were very difficult days. All our ministerials had failed. We still had to achieve success. Russia-Ukraine war was at its peak, and he gave me the complete freedom to negotiate, and that is how we achieved success. It was because of his trust. It was because of his confidence. It was because of his belief.
So tell me about any one incident I want you to leave the viewers with. I am told, I don't know whether it's true, Mr. Kant, that you have done the maximum number of presentations to the Prime Minister. But tell me something, how is it like, for viewers who would want a more anecdotal sense of what happens in a presentation with the Prime Minister? How does it work out?
So, Arnab, that's right, that I must have, because I had a long innings as CEO Niti Aayog over 7 years. I must have made a lot of over 200 odd presentations to him. So first of all, I think his ability to listen and absorb, I've not come across in my 47 years in government, I've not come across any other leader who has this great ability to just listen and absorb. He remains cool, calm, collected during a crisis. That is the hallmark of a great leader. His ability to understand, his ability to absorb, his ability to listen, his ability to absorb and listen. And he just listens. And to my mind, when there is a complex issue he doesn't understand, he doesn't ever shy away from saying that, please repeat this again. Please repeat this again.
Okay.
I want to understand it. He does that. And he hears everyone out. Second point I want to make is about his leadership. That I worked with him for over 12 years. And 2 years before, when I went for Vibrant Gujarat, when he was Chief Minister of Gujarat, and I had many meetings with him at that point of time, I've never seen him get angry. I've never seen a Prime Minister of India ever get angry. And that, to my mind, is a great sign of a great leadership. Thirdly, when I was doing the Delhi, my first meeting with him was when I was doing Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor. And I had to make Tholera and I had to make Shendra Bidkin. I was going around 6 or 7 chief ministers. I went and explained the concept about new cities. And they said, what do you want? I said, I want over 150 kilometers of land. All of them just washed their hands off. Nobody could think big. Nobody could think large. I went to the Chief Minister of Gujarat, Mr. Narendra Modi, and he said, how much land do you want? I said, 150 kilometers, sir. He said, why do you want only 150 kilometers? I'll give you 750 kilometers in Dholera. And that's how Dholera was developed. It is now developed, but in 3 or 4 years' time, imagine the size of Singapore. It's 702 kilometers. Dholera is 756 kilometers. It'll be a better city with the semiconductor units all coming up there. It'll grow and prosper over a 2 decades period into a much larger, much bigger city. So that's his vision.
Well, that's amazing. I think without a doubt, people listening to you, the big takeaway I took away from this, the Prime Minister is probably the best listener among people who have ever governed the country. Everyone says this. Amitabh ji, it is so amazing. What is it that you really want to tell people about the Prime Minister? He's a good listener. He's a good listener as he absorbs. Second thing, his humility. If he doesn't understand things completely, he's not afraid to come and say, can you explain that to me again? Which means he doesn't want to make a mistake. That is what makes the Prime Minister, so unique. Hashtag India needs Modi. Ladies and gentlemen, Amitabh Kant, it's a total pleasure. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing that with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's it on this section of the program. When I'm back, we'll be talking to a person who's worked so closely with the Prime Minister in his first term, perhaps most closely of all. And his name is Nripendra Mishra. He ran the Prime Minister's office as Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister in his first term. So when the Prime Minister was transiting from Gujarat to Delhi, he was the man running his office. He's going to give us some very rare insights when I'm back.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.